The UPND government is deploying their energy in a wrong direction. If only they took 10% of what they are doing, the efforts they're making in the wrong direction, to direct it towards the economy, we would not have the dollar trading at 23 kwacha today. The much talked about IMF deal has gone wrong. Why? Because instead of the UPND government officials focusing on improving the livelihood of the Zambian people, they are focusing on destroying the PF. And because 2 years later, they've realized it's not that easy to destroy the PF. They left their desks, their work unattended to. Today, the Zambian people are meant to suffer. So what we have to say to the UPND, it's very embarrassing when I saw my dear brother, the fellow counsel, Jack Mwiimbu. He's struggling to try and explain himself out. I mean, he's of counsel, and he goes out to try and, call the documents not authentic, documents that he did not author, documents that came out of a government platform, Smart Zambia platform. And today you want to call those documents flawed? You want to call the process, the court process flawed? No, fellow counsel Jack Mwiimbu. It's very embarrassing. We're actually very embarrassed that you don't know when to stop. I think as a government, you've made all the efforts trying to help Mao Sampa. But that's a bad project. Unfortunately, that's a very bad project. There's no way that you can authenticate that project. And the reasons are simple. Because one, it did not go through the due process. Mao Sampa's retreat did not include a meeting of Central Committee. It did not include a National Council. It did not include a chairperson of the party convening that particular meeting. So there are so many processes that you cannot amend. Even if we gave you 10 years, Comrade Jack Mwiimbu, that cannot be a PF conference, unfortunately. So for your own information, even if we gave you the leeway, okay, that will never be a PF conference. For Comrade Sampa, I think he has been exposed. You can see even from the demeanor. The gentleman knows that it's all over. This day was to come. It has indeed come. The expose that was made yesterday regarding the filing status at the registrar's office brought this Sampa battle to a close. There's nothing to talk about, dear citizens. It's very clear that Comrade Sampa was never and will never be PF president. What happened was a retreat, and all other people that were appointed by Ngona and the rest of them are occupying whatever offices illegally. Of course, it's embarrassing that Madam Speaker has had to go through this. But we warned her that she should have been a little bit more careful. Now, it's an international embarrassment. What's happened at Parliament is an international embarrassment. Not only did she breach the Constitution, she also did not follow what the PF Constitution said. We wonder about a letter from Ngona. The MPs themselves that are supposed to elect leader of opposition wrote to her, and she ignored those letters. Now look at the embarrassment. Look at the embarrassment that Lady Speaker has got to put up with. What is even more disappointing are the CSOs, our civic leaders who went to give solidarity. They should have been a bit more careful to realize that they were encouraging a lady who had breached the Constitution. They had encouraged a lady who recognized a letter from a stranger and made changes to leadership at Parliament. Now, our advice to NGOCC is that they should go back to government to encourage government that when people that have authority to make appointments, they should not do so by abusing women. We believe that the appointing authorities in government are abusing women. They abuse women by making it seem as if the women that are appointed do not deserve those positions.
That's right.
And the women feel so guilty, they feel so favored, that they are ready to break the law to appease the appointing authorities. Let Right Honorable Madam Nelly Muti know that she's been to school and she deserves the position of a speaker. She doesn't owe it to the sponsoring party. She should not break the law to appease the UPND. Nelly Muti has been a lawyer. She's been an advocate of the High Court for a very long time. She therefore can serve as a speaker without feeling as if she's been overly favored. There's no favor. So the NGOCC must remind government that the abuse of women, making them feel they're inferior, they don't deserve the positions that have been given, and whenever they've been appointed, they should be abused to the extent that they can break the law. The few women that are able to stand and follow what the law provides are now being victimized. Where is the NGOCC? Why aren't they standing with Madam Mende, the registrar, who was victimized for respecting the law? Mende knew her value. She knew she deserved that appointment as registrar. She therefore did not need to give a favor or pay back a favor to any appointing authority. And because of standing up firm, because of being professional, she's now been victimized. So for NGOCC, instead of commending Madam Speaker, they should have gone to the sponsors of Madam Nelly Muti and warned them that they are abusing the Speaker. They made the Speaker believe she didn't deserve to be a Speaker of the National Assembly, and therefore she owed them some unusual favors. There's no need for that. So women must be respected. We want to respect women in the Patriotic Front Party. When you are given a position as member of Central Committee, it's because you deserve it. You don't need to break the law to appease the appointing authority. That is our resolve as a party. That's our resolve. Our women in Zambia are being abused by appointing authorities because they make our women feel inferior. And that is a warning to the UPND government. Let the Speaker do her job. Give her the confidence. Let the registrar do her job. I thought that was very, very important. But for now, for our members, remain confident that particular issue to do with registrar of societies was resolved. There was never a conference on the 24th of October. There was a retreat, and the retreat cannot be converted into a conference. That's the reason why the list of office bearers remains the same as registrar of societies. Thank you very much.
Just to clarify also, this is the final statement. There's a query from the press that we should respond to. There's a letter that has been written by a gentleman called John Mutekenya, who claims that he was wrongly put as one of the office bearers for the Patriotic Front on the list when he actually is not a member of the Patriotic Front. I must say that there's been a deliberate interpretation of that file, because if somebody read that form, it clearly shows that this John Mutekenya was removed as office bearer on the 10th of April 2021. So he's no longer a member of Patriotic Front. He's also not one of the office bearers. He's written a letter, purporting to the Speaker and to Honorable Makebi Zulu's firm that his name appears as one of the office bearers. He's not. He ceased to be an office bearer. He used to be an office bearer from 2001 when the Patriotic Front was formed. But for the longest time, he was not an active participant in Patriotic Front. And in 2021, it was thought prudent to remove him. So we don't know whether taking this reading that this Mr. Mutekenya is still a member of the Patriotic Front and an office bearer. There is also a query that has suggested that President Lungu has been president for the Patriotic Front from 2002, according to the document that is doing rounds on the social media. Again, that document is being deliberately wrongly read by those who are speaking against the Patriotic Front. What is very evident in that document is that President Lungu, then just a member of the Patriotic Front, was an office bearer from 17th of February 2002, when Mr. Sata was registering the Patriotic Front before the election of 2001. So Mr. Lungu was one of the founding members of the Patriotic Front, and when they were registering it, and there was a requirement for office bearers to be filed, Mr. Lungu had his name included from 2002 on 17th February. He still remains an office bearer. We do not appoint presidents in the Patriotic Front. We elect presidents. And the public is aware that Mr. Lungu was first elected president in 2015 after the death of Mr. Michael Sata, may so rest in peace. We then repeated the election of Mr. Lungu in 2021 before the last general election that we had. So people should not be malicious when they're reading this document, but we know that there's malice from those who would like to destroy the Patriotic Front. And we'll able to respond to every avenue they're going to use to try and destroy us, because we'll be here. We want to get back to power in 2026. We know the journey is very easy, and we're going to do what is right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.